Alright, so today I'm going to be replacing the lower rail, which is called the lift rail, for my passenger side window, which is all rotted through. And this is what it does. Yeah. It comes off the track, the wheels don't ride properly. So I'm going to be replacing that bottom rail. First thing I need to do is get this front part disassembled. I've already got the inner panel off. Now I need to get the metal part off. Getting the inner door panel off is pretty explanatory. You just get behind the panel itself with a screwdriver or pry bar and pop the plastic pieces all the way around and then lift the door panel out. This piece pops out, but you have to plug it back in so that you can control the window to get it to go back up or down. And you're going to need it to go in the down position so that you can work on the window. So once you get this far, you really don't have to do much here. You don't have to take any of this stuff apart. I mean, you will have to take apart or pull the plug apart from the switch so we can lean it forward. But we need to take out these 7mm screws all the way around. That's that. Alright, now before I can take this panel off, I got to get this window in the lower position. This one's off the track a little bit, but see if I can guide it. The next thing I need to do is remove this switch so I can get this out of the way. Now I will have to remove the linkages on the inside to make this a little bit easier to move out of the way. It's fairly simple. Got one in the back here that's just set through a little piece of rubber, and you could pry that out. And then this one in the front here is just a clip that you pull forward that pops out, and then you want to get them out of the little attachment areas for the door there. Those will pop out. Let me get all this stuff pulled apart and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so once you get this loose, you just pull the whole panel forward and it will slide right out of the rail, what's left of it. And then just set this aside for right now. And what I'm going to do is work on getting this piece off the window. You can see this is pretty crusty. A lot of holes in it, so the wheels, little guide wheels, were not doing their job. Alright, now with some gentle prying, you should be able to lift the window up and down, but get it off that rest. Some gentle prying. Don't pry on the window. You don't want to pry on that window, because it will break. Some gentle prying down to open up that gap. Crusty. A lot of rust got in there. It's holding it up. Go slow. There we go. You can see how bad it was. It's missing most of the upper rail, and it's pretty bad. So let's get this all cleaned up here, and then we'll put the new one in. Now this is the part I'm going to be installing. It's a Dorman part number 924249, and it's called a window channel. It's also called a window lift. If you look it up, it's a window lift channel or window channel. I will put a link in the description below so you can order this. I'll show you what it looks like. Get it open here. Unboxing video, that's what it is. And that's what it looks like. And this will slide back up onto the window. I'm going to put a little bit of black RTV to hold it in place, and it'll dry nice and tight, and it will give a little bit more cushion along with the current one that's in there. Alright, so now I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite black RTV on there. I'm going to put it on the inside of the rail, like so. And you want to make sure you're putting it in the right way. Don't put it in backwards, because then you won't be able to operate your window. Anyway, so your rail's going to face towards you, and you're going to line it up back where the other one used to be, and slide it in place. Might need a little persuasion. That silicone will help lubricate it a little bit to get it to go all the way up. But just keep working it from side to side. I'm going to drop this down by tilt this window. I'm going to let it rest down at the bottom here on its little resting point, like so. Down here, just let it rest right there and let this tack up, and then once this is all tacked up, then we should be able to install the regulator and put the door back together. Surprisingly, the bottom of these doors are like immaculate. I've never seen this. This is a 92 K15 or K1500, and I mean, the fenders are rotten like crazy, but the bottoms of these doors are like perfect. I don't know if they put new doors on there, but it's pretty amazing. I mean, that's the only rust that's on there, is that little teeny surface rust, but everything else is clean. And before I go putting everything in, got the window tilted, so I should be able to get the bottom roller in. But before I put that in, I'm going to make sure I get this lubed up with a little bit of lithium grease. Help the rollers. Can you see? Alright. There's one wheel. I'm holding this bottom piece with my leg or my knee. I'm going to slide this window back down. Whoa. And we'll get the other one on there. I'm sure you can't see, but basically just tilt the window around so it goes over the rollers. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. So it's on the rollers now. Okay. So it's in the resting position now. Got them both front and back of the window in their respective rails. I'm going to tilt this window a little bit more so it's sitting square, and then I can put the metal panel back on. Push this little rubber piece through here. Got to go up a little bit. Like so. Now there is a little lip on the bottom of this door. If you get it to rest like that, should be fine. Alright, she goes up straight. So we can start putting the screws back in. Back. Set this at 16. Alright, all the screws are in. Just test the window up and down and make sure it actually works. All the way down. Works. So now what I need to do is pull this switch back off. This will allow me to put the door panel back on and then put the switches back in. That's the way it goes. Alright, now let's deal with the problem that every single one of you are going to have to deal with when you take these door panels apart, is getting these clips to go back onto your panel and actually hold it in place. And this is the way I do it. You can go and buy these brand new. I'm sure you can buy packets of them on Amazon or whatever. But I use hot melt glue. You can use a hot glue gun. Works just as well. This is the way I do it because this is what I have currently. So I just have a soldering iron with a flat, it's a plastic welding tip. I'm sure you could use a regular soldering iron if you don't have a hot melt glue gun or whatever. You can actually use plastic too. Some plastic that would actually melt with this plastic, but I like this because this melts before the plastic does. And all I do is get this heated up. I melt this hot melt glue on there next to the hole and in the hole. Keep it warmed up and then push these in and turn them, and that'll glue them in. And I do this all the way around. But anyway, even if they are in fairly decent shape and they will go in there and twist, a lot of these will be really floppy. So I prefer to just go ahead and glue them in. Doesn't really hurt. And if you need to take these apart, you know, someday in the future, they're pretty easy to pull off and you can just put new ones on there. So that's all I do. Show you one more. I'm sure this is just mind-numbingly boring, but yeah. Try to get a lot of glue heated up. Get your part ready. Get in there and twist it. That's it. So one other tip, since you've already got these door panels pulled apart, is to reinforce these door handles. Now these things are held together with these little plastic buttons that come through, and this one is actually broken. But that's actually what holds that handle in place, along with, I think, one screw. I found that the best way to do it is just to drill, or just to put in some self-tapping screws adjacent to and just above where that tab is, probably about 1/4 of an inch. And what that'll do is it will give you more strength in those areas. Show you on this one. And this one's a little tricky because you got to put it up here in the corner, otherwise you'll end up going through the actual inside of the handle. There you go. And you can see, you can't see anything once they're in there, and it also gives you more strength when you're opening up the door. Otherwise you'll find yourself doing this later, so do it now. Alright, get this door panel back on, and basically all you got to do is put the top lip into the rail up there, push down, make sure that everything is going down, and this lines up, and then you push in your tabs that you just glued in. Like so. And then put your switches, your switch panel back in, and it's fairly easy. You just snap these in. And take your little clip for your wire, push your wires down, snap the black clip on so that they're both attached, and do the same thing for the gray one. Whoop. Snapped in. Get your clip. Then this little piece right here, this little tab, goes inside of the groove, right there. And these just clip back in. Make sure everything's lined up, like so. And then you put in the one screw that's holding this whole thing together, right there. And there you have it, all complete. Make sure everything works. You lock and unlock your window. Simple! One other tip I wanted to bring up is, if you're working with your door open for a long period of time, you can hook up your battery charger to your car or truck. But in these vehicles, in these trucks, if you take a piece of cardboard and you fold it up and you shove it in here to block the door switch right there, it turns off the light and you won't have it burning the entire time. I leave the battery connected when I'm doing this because I do want to control the windows and door locks and everything. That was an airplane there too. Alright, Mr. Airplane.